This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
Hello and welcome to episode 146 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me on this Friday morning, which is just downright strange, the one, the only, Mr. Perry Burkham, aka the Husker of Corn.
And the Metropolitan himself,
Boom, boom.
Casey Gibson.
Here I am.
Have we ever recorded on a Friday morning? We probably have. It's been a while, though.
Think.
Usually it's like a Saturday morning. Friday morning?
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe at a PAX or something,
Oh, that's true.
or something
PAXs
along
don't count.
those lines.
Dude, speaking of PAX, PAX is coming up.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's in January.
Ridiculous.
I guess we haven't really discussed this, but I think we've kind of thought we were going to go back to San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to in the sense that it was downright fun.
It was so much fun.
The layout of San Antonio for a PAX just works so much better because everything's very tight-knit.
Also, it's not -3
Yeah, the Scoot
degrees
Life.
Fahrenheit.
You got Scoot
Life. Oh, man.
You've also,
yeah.
like I said, I think that was the biggest thing to me, though, was just like, okay, the hotel or, our Airbnb, whatever it was, literally like a 5 to 10 minute scoot ride, and then you would be able to come back, like Neil came over and hung out.
Jules came over and hung out.
Yep.
We sat there and played a bunch of unreleased Tui games on the Switch.
And Downwell for hours on end.
Downwell.
It was just, and then in Boston, it was like, we all saw at the convention center, it was like, all right, let's each get our $15 Ubers back.
Exactly.
I don't want to go over there because that's going to be an
affordable.
extra $20 and an extra 45 minutes in traffic, yeah.
And also, it's freezing.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's a big thing.
Well, for me,
it was pretty cold, actually.
That seems
Remember?
appealing to me.
It was pretty cold in January.
For San Antonio?
You know what I mean? Yeah, remember it was pretty cold. I remember
I think at night it got
cold,
a little
dude.
chilly.
I remember in the mornings I was like I remember thinking, I can't believe Casey doesn't have a hoodie on. Like if I didn't have a hoodie, I'd be miserable.
I guess
but you're a trucker.
Yeah, there was also it was a little rainy and raw, which didn't help some of those mornings,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
don't know.
Remember when we got up and we got our coffees, walked down by the. We were literally on the river walk.
That was it, River Walk. That was the word. I was
so
like,
good,
what
dude.
was that actually called again?
It was so fun. So yeah, I'm definitely going to San Antonio.
Yeah, the only bad thing about San Antonio is the sense that as far as coverage goes, right? Of course, there's still a lot of really great games to check out and play, but I feel like a lot of the people, especially indies, that are
Nintendo.
sort of unveiling sort of bigger game, quote unquote, like their new games and stuff, they're going to wait for PAX East just because it gets way more coverage.
Yeah.
Now, of course, PAX East was at one point the smaller of the PAXs, right? And West was the big boy. And then eventually East now has sort of caught up and they're sort of similar size. So maybe that will happen with South at some point.
Yeah. And I think that, I hope that Nintendo comes, you know what I mean? And who knows, with Doug Bowser, maybe I don't know.
The Bowser boy, maybe he likes the South.
It would be really cool if they came to PAX South, Like they came the year before, of course.
Yeah.
They showed off the Switch and stuff, and they gave out all that cool stuff. And
they're going to have
that's
to
the
show
one
off
thing.
that Animal Crossing, baby.
Yeah. Oh, which, by the way, that reminds me. Yeah, Grills so kindly pointed out on Twitter that you did bet your life that Animal Crossing was going to be the main showcase of E3 2019.
I did.
Yeah, and I remember telling you, why? Why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. Why are you saying this? Because it's definitely not a for sure thing. But sweetheart Casey, so optimistic, and that's why I love him. That's why we all love you, Casey. You're like, no, it has to be. It has to be so much that I bet my life. But unfortunately now, I have to kill you.
Well, I didn't say when you could kill me. So when I'm on my deathbed, you can come in. You can put
decide.
the pillow right
when you
over
bet
my
your life,
head.
you don't decide when that life is ended. I'm sorry.
Well, that wasn't part of the terms. We didn't
I'm sorry,
discuss.
Mob.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. But
Y'all gonna have to
you bet
wait
your
another-
life and then you lost, so it's up to the people who you bet it to, which is me.
All right.
And luckily enough, I'm going to give you a few days. So
All right. Well, you come out
Get
to
your
Charleston
affairs in
and
order.
you just end me whenever you want.
get your affairs in order.
Yeah. But I request you bring some Vigi games and we'll play a couple games. And then what we'll do is when you actually beat me in a game at some point, and hopefully that happens, then you can kill me and I'll be like, well, then you can have that sweet, sweet taste of victory. And then
what?
You'll go out on
Yeah.
a high note.
Yeah, you know what? That'll be good. You can beat me in a game, so you can feel good.
No,
about
the other
yourself
way
before
around.
I
I mean,
kill you.
I'm going to beat you. That's not,
Okay, good. Then okay. Well, we can
I
play
was
a
saying
game. You can beat me, and then I'll
we'll
and then I'll
play
end your life.
until you beat me, and that'll give me a couple extra hours of life. And then
Oh,
then you
okay.
can then
But don't we
hopefully
have,
you'll be
like,
able to.
Don't we have? I mean, I don't care, but don't we have like tons of evidence online of me beating you in video games with our Talk Nintendo challenges?
Me allowing yes, of course. Well, I
No,
mean,
you
it wouldn't
definitely
make for a
being a
very
John.
interesting series if it was just a one-man show, would it? People get bored.
Yeah. If I know Casey Gibson at all, I know that he doesn't let people win, and he gets extremely mad when he loses.
I don't know.
Inside.
Yep.
Oh, I know. No, I know. But anyway. So it's the first episode of the month.
Ooh, you know what that is.
I do know what that means. That means we have our Patreon shout-outs, which is awesome. These are our producers tier, which is $10. So for $10 a month, you can get a shout-out on our very own podcast and an air kiss.
Yep, as well.
From both of us.
Yeah, you get a couple air kisses, but you're also going to get access to join in on the Patreon Plays podcast, which is a bi-monthly, as in every other month podcast, where we all come together, play a game, which is voted on by the Patreon community.
Which was
And
done
then-
this last week, right?
Yep, and actually,
what is it?
Luigi's Mansion 2 New Moon took the cake in a close race against Resident Evil, and then Resident Evil 4, I should say. And then there were a couple other games that were sort of lagging behind.
How did Sushi Striker fare?
You know what? Sushi Striker, whoever was voting for Sushi Striker came out hot and heavy in the beginning, and then the rest sort of just left it in the dust. But yeah, we'll be recording.
I jokingly put that in our Slack chat, and then
I think
it ended up on there.
Lemonade was all about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we're
It's
going to
so
be
good.
playing that throughout the month of July and recording towards
Luigi's
the
Mansion
end of the
2.
month. So you can still get in on the fun if you do jump over to Patreon. And then, of course, at just $1, you're always going to get an exclusive Talk Nintendo as well as an exclusive Radio-Free Nintendo
Which
podcast.
we just posted our second Patreon exclusive episode.
Yep, which means for that $1, you're going to get both
Yeah.
those episodes, and then every subsequential month, you'll be getting a new one. But
That's right.
that's enough of the pitch. Let's get into these big, beautiful Patreon supporters.
All right. Yes.
Why don't you kick it off for us?
Of course, we have Peter Doxus.
Yes.
He is the man.
He's the big boy.
He's the big boy.
Leading the charge at the Super Patreon level. And then our Patrons, we got a new one. Jonathan Barlow, baby, from
Johnny
Down Under.
Barlow.
Joining the
Heck yeah,
fun.
man. This is his first month. He's the man. Thank you so much for joining our producer tier, John. And then I'll take the next one too. And of course, our other relative newbie. I don't know if we mentioned. I can't remember if he came in last month. But anyway, Terrence Polk.
Yes, yeah,
Or
he
Polk.
joined in at the end of June, I think, or sometime in the latter half of June. So this is his first shout out. Terrence is awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He's great. We talked to him on Twitter and stuff. So
Thanks,
awesome
man.
to have him on board. Then of course we've got good old GX Faithful. He's been a long-standing patron, as well as a staple on the Patreon Plays podcast. So if you do jump into Patreon, you're going to hear him talking about all sorts of games with me every other month.
Awesome. And we have Joel Aponte. I think it's Aponte.
That's how I would read it too. Good
But
old
yeah,
Joel.
thank you so
He's
much.
been
He's
around
been
for a
a
while
supporter
too.
for a really long time. So thank you so much, Joel.
Then we've got Staffer and Patron. He's got both titles. Good old Carmen Red.
Carmine Red,
Carmine, excuse
the
me.
man,
Carmen
the
Electra.
mystery, the legend. Anyway, and then we also have Cutestifer.
Yes, good old
A
Cutestifer.
long-time supporter, Cutestifer. Thank you.
Yep. And then rounding out the Patreon producers, we've got James Adams. Sounds like he should be a president.
Sounds like Jimmy Adams, if you know what I'm saying.
Ooh, but he ain't no
Adams.
Jimmy. He is a bona fide James.
Yeah, he ain't no Jim Bot. Thank you, every producer. It's so cool. If you want to shout out, please go to patreon.com/NWR, and you can get one. So now we're getting into the show, which is what we've been up to, what we've been playing. I think we call it something new. We don't really have a name for this segment. You know,
I feel like just what we've been playing.
What we've been playing. I know, but
True and tried, baby, right to the point.
I know, but we call it what we've been up to.
What we've been doing, how we've been feeling, whatever,
How we've been feeling.
Well, I've been feeling a little sad this week.
Well, anyway, so we have a bunch of games to talk about here, and you're going to start us off with a classic Capcom franchise, one that you've never played before until now.
An old but gold game, baby. That is Devil May Cry. Now, this game, I believe I've mentioned it before, but if not, I'm going to mention it again. This game started out as Resident Evil 4, back when Capcom was sort of trying to see what direction they wanted to take Resident Evil 4 in. They had a bunch of different versions. If you were at all interested in Resident Evil as a series, I recommend going and checking it out, because there's some really interesting versions of what Resident Evil 4 could have been that ultimately did not be, but you could still see some screenshots and stuff out there from like some more like ghost and paranormal direction that was very interesting. And just a bunch of different versions that, I guess were going too far removed from the series, and that's what Devil May Cry was. It was, the gameplay was just too far removed from being a Resident Evil game, but they knew they had something on their hands that was too good to just throw into the garbage heap. So that was Devil May Cry. They, obviously changed it up, where now you are Dante, and he is a badass, and he goes around. So this is, sort of revolutionized the character action game, right? The Bayonetta type game, where you're going to go in there, and it's mission based. There's, I think, 22 or 23 missions, ranging in length and size. Some of them, literally you could complete in 3 minutes, sort of real quick, peppered in there. But I feel like most of them are sort of generally around 20 minutes or so. You're going through a different section, and it'll be like, hey, this is the mission. Go get this to get through the door, And you're like, okay, I'm going to have to find that and then get to the door and then go through there. But as you're working your way through, a bunch of enemies come out, and it's very stylistic game, right? So it's the idea is like you're going to look cool while beating up these baddies and railing combos together to get a good score, because they do grade you at the end of the level, and you get sort of bonus orbs, which is the currency for this game. And by looking cool and putting the good combos together and avoiding damage in conjunction with doing it, relatively fast, or as fast as you can. And that sort of depends on how your grade is. Now, I don't usually get very good grades. I think D is the worst. I usually hover around.
We've talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah, I usually hover around a C. Like, I've gotten some B's, I've gotten some D's, and then
brings you back to your high school days.
Yep, yeah. Me fail English?
That's impossible.
But yeah, this game is cool. So you're Dante, you're like a demon slayer, and you are trying to get revenge because your brother and mother were killed, presumably by the big demon lord Mundus. And the first scene is this girl Trish comes in, and she's like, hey, what's up? And then just like throws this big sword right through your stomach, and you're like, oh, jeez. And then like Dante, like instead of like taking it out, right, he just like pulls his body through it, including the hilt, which I thought was incredible. So it's like, okay, I'm super being, apparently, you know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous. And it turns out like you've got like your father was like a very renowned champion, you know what I mean? Like super powerful, like, oh my goodness. So you've got that blood in you. And you are just, like I said, you're a badass, essentially. So you're going through, and you have a sword, and then you have a gun. And those sort of work together to pull off some cool combos. Now, there's something called Devil Trigger, which is sort of like, in Bayonetta, it's like Witch Time, where it slows things down, and you kick some butt. this doesn't slow things down, but it just makes you super powerful. It like transforms you into this sort of like a demonic looking creature. Still like a humanoid looking creature, but like you look different, and you could like sort of float around and stuff and really deal a lot of damage. Now, it starts off where you have like a couple different abilities, but as you pick up these orbs, you can unlock new abilities which sort of enhance the combos you could pull off, and it's pretty satisfying, like to be able to, you know, sort of put a couple different attacks together and really destroy an enemy, and then all of a sudden like they tell you like, oh cool, you know, and then like if it's like sort of like a oh whatever, it's like dull, like little like pretty much how your combo looks comes up sometimes, you know. So it's funny, like that was a dull one, bro. But you get some different items too, like you get these like molten gloves, where then instead of slashing a sword, now all of a sudden you're up there sort of kicking and punching the crap out of these enemies too. So it's got some nice variation in the play style. But the game is really tough. It like enemies are tough, and the general enemies aren't too bad, but it's really more so the bosses that you're gonna have to put some time in. You're gonna have to probably fail a few times before doing it. Now, what's interesting is if you die, you start from the beginning of the mission. Now, most missions aren't too long, but there are a couple that are a little lengthy, and then you just get demolished by the boss. And you're like, God dang it, you know? Like, I gotta do this over again. But the thing is, you've already done it now. So it's like, well, all right, I know exactly where to go. And now that mission that maybe took me 10 minutes, like, I could get through it in, like, 4. You know, like, skip a couple of, like, the cruddy enemies, you know, just sort of blow through it. But yeah, it's definitely tough. You do get items that you can restart, like, right before where you died, you know, like the room before. But they are sort of a rare commodity. And you could purchase them with your orbs, but at the same token, you sort of want to save those orbs for upgrading, right? Like, I'd rather buy new abilities or buy, you know, an item that will increase my, like, Devil Trigger capabilities, like, in the sense that, like, instead of, like, there's, like, little symbols underneath your health bar, and you could just buy more of them so it lasts longer.
Gotcha.
Now, it's funny because you really can feel the Resident Evil 4 within this game. It looks very similar, right? And, like, they've got the set camera angles, which can be really annoying sometimes. Because, like, in Resident Evil 4, or classic Resident Evil, where you have the fixed camera angles, the game's sort of, it's slow-paced, right? It's like, oh, I changed screens, I could sort of readjust. This game's all about sort of quick movements. So it's like when you're facing an enemy and, like, oh, the screen switched, but now it's like, it can get a little, disorienting. That's the word.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
See, you stopped.
Yeah.
You thought about it.
I stopped and I thought it out.
Good job, Casey.
Yeah, we worked this out together. And it can be a little weird, but ultimately not too bad. What is annoying is the platforming. It's not a ton. There's not a ton of it, right? But like there's some spots where you got to do a little platforming, and it's just like ugh. It's like, yeah,
Right.
this is certainly not where this game shines. But yeah, luckily, like, it's not too often, and it's not like you need to be platforming while destroying enemies. It's sort of like, all right, I've killed the enemies, now I can sort of work through these. Not great, but like I said, ultimately not like the end of the world. Now, what is the worst are the underwater sections. Now, these are really far and few between, and they're really quick, but I'm like, oh man, this just does not feel good. Like, I wish these weren't here, but overall, I'm really enjoying it, and it's surprising, despite being, you know, almost 2 decades old, it's actually still a lot of fun. Like, I am enjoying it. It holds up, especially, like, after playing games like Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, where it's like, okay, like, especially Bayonetta 2, it's like, this is sort of the culmination, you know, of all of the character action games, like Platinum and, like, I mean, this, obviously, Devil May Cry is Capcom, but, like, all these games, like, this is the culmination. It feels awesome. It's fluid. It's, you know, amazing, right? So, like, to go back to one of the earlier games in the genre that sort of defined what the genre is, it still feels good. And, you know, it's $20, so a little expensive, I guess, but, like, I was half expecting it to be $30, so for it to only be $20, it's like, all right, that's, it feels like a fair price. And But yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I love like the attitude and the tone of the game. Dante. I've heard people always like, yeah, we want Dante for Smash, right? And it's like, yeah, like okay, whatever, Dante. Like, it doesn't like cry. I could see how it could be fun because, like I said, he's got a gun, he's got a big sword. He could switch up to the gloves, and then I'm sure he's got way more really cool weapons in the subsequential games in the series. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it, and anyone who has any, vague interest, it's not a super long game. I think, like I said, I think I have 2 chapters left. I'm right on the end of the game, and I think I've put down, I guess the in-game clock is about 4 hours, and I have died, quite a few times, because the game is difficult. So you keep that in mind. But, so yeah, what an idiot. So it won't take you super duper long. But yeah, good stuff.
Cool, man. Sounds fun.
Good old Dante.
It looks pretty good too?
Yeah, like I said, it's got the Resident Evil look to it, right? Like,
gotcha. Yeah. But
it doesn't look bad. Like, there are some areas that are sort of dark, but I also think that's just sort of a sign of the era, right? Like, it was that like, oh, everything's like brown and earth toned, which isn't, the whole game isn't like that. You're going throughout this big castle, and like some of the rooms are really cool. Some of the bosses, like, it's funny, the bosses, like, they talk, and like there's some cheesy but funny,
Sure.
dialogue between the characters and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's not like the most beautiful game, but it looks solid. Like, it isn't like a strain on the eyes.
Looks good.
Yeah,
like the HD.
Yeah, it pretty much like just sort of rounded, like it polished it up, right? So it's not like blurry or anything. Like it still looks fine. It's not gonna knock your socks off, but what can you expect from an 18-year-old game? But
right.
Yeah, no, I that's easy enough to go peep a couple vids, but it's been running well on the Switch. I haven't had any issues in both handheld and docked, both looking good. So yeah, it seems like a nice port of a fun game.
A nice port of a fun game.
Boom, baby.
It doesn't get any more simple, does it?
Sure doesn't.
All right. Well, speaking of a nice port of a fun game, this is a not very good port of a very fun game that I'm going to talk about. And you might know it as Fortnite, but most people know it as Fork Knife.
Dude, speaking of forks and knives, I am ready to eat.
I know. Me too, dude. It's breakfast time.
Yeah, we messed up. We should have.
We done?
This should have been the breakfast podcast where we each eat a meal.
Yeah, that's
and everyone listening is like, stop chewing into the mic.
Everyone loves that. Stop doing it. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna talk just a little bit about Fortnite, because I've been playing this a bunch recently. It's a fun game. I took quite a big break coming back. And everything's pretty different and crazy, but they added a lot of cool stuff. It's a very interesting game because they'll take away stuff that you really like for instance the tilted towers. That's not there anymore. Now it's like neo tilted. It's like neo tilted towers, and it's just not as good, and it's not as fun. And it was like the place that we always dropped down, and we had our spot by the basketball court, and and they took it away. It's like, well, that kind of stinks, but of course it just kind of forces you into finding other things and stuff. But
that was probably their goal, right? I'd imagine.
Oh, for sure. It's just keeping the game fresh and stuff.
Yeah, they could probably look and see like, okay, whatever percent drop into this area, and that's fine. But yeah, like we want people to explore other areas.
Right. But dude, the biggest and coolest addition. There's 2 of them. They really work on their traversal, like the traversing the map. They always have, like, remember, you started off like when it came out on Switch, it was like, okay, you can you have to walk everywhere, like that's how it started. And then like they introduced the golf cart. The golf cart is the coolest thing in the world, like I remember thinking that like it was amazing.
Now it stinks on ice.
Well, it's like they don't have it anymore because they have like ATVs, and then they have the new things are snowboards or surfboards.
It's so funny.
And they're these like hoverboards, and they're unbelievably fun. I mean, you can just boost and basically it takes away all the fall damage, so you can just boost off of mountains and do backflips in the air, land it and stuff. It is amazing, and you go super ridiculously fast. It's so much fun. Like, it's one of those things where I kind of want to play. I kind of like every time I play, I just want to find a surfboard first. But the other thing that they added, which is equally as fun, if not more fun, is the baller. Or I don't know exactly what it's called.
I think
but
I've seen
it's a big
videos of
ball.
what this is, right?
And you get inside, and it has a grapple. Mm-hmm. And it's like kind of like Batman. Like, you can grapple to anything, like up to like half a mile away, and then like boost yourself and swing around stuff. And like we were playing last night, and Jules was on a 4-wheeler or I guess it's an ATV, I think. Anyway, and I was like, I wonder if I can grapple onto your 4-wheeler, and you can, and just he can swing. And so we tried it, and yep, sure enough, and I'm sitting there just hooked onto the back of him, and he's swinging me around and stuff, and like, let's go. And it's so funny because, and then like you can like break walls with it and stuff, and that's the other thing, like with the 4-wheeler. That's a lot of fun too, because you can just break through walls and just cause a big ruckus. And anyway, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it really, truly is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun additions, and they're always doing a lot of stuff for they're actually having a Stranger Things thing right now. Like, there's at part of this place, there's actually like the void, like the
to the upside down,
the upside down, and you can go through it. It's like a portal and stuff, and then like they had fire. I don't know. It could have just been yesterday. We played on July 4th, and they had fire. They had bottle rockets.
That's cool.
And they're really cool. It's like you set them down, you throw them, and then they kind of attack structures and stuff. And it's so much fun. Anyway, the game is just as fun as ever. They've done a really fun. I mean, I think that it's a pretty amazing feat. Obviously, just everything that they've done with that game. Like just how it's free and how everyone plays it. And, obviously we played it for a long time and then stopped, but it's been fun getting back into it. Like I kind of prefaced before, on Switch, it's really bad. It was way better before. Loading times are bad. Now loading textures when you fall. I mean, there's so many times when you go to places that you fall in and it's just this muddy, disgusting texture that isn't fully loaded. It's like the pre stuff, and like you're just walking around and everything's so janky until it loads, and it's like just disgusting. And so I mean, it probably runs at like 15 frames. And then,
oh no, yeah, that's no good.
But the thing is it's still really fun. But it's like, and it's probably way better on every other platform. But it's really cool that it's on the Switch. And obviously the thing that really stinks is they took away the ability to do the 30-second clips.
Oh, they did?
You can't record the video. Oh, yeah, they took that away a long time ago.
Why?
Exactly. I think it just was using too much of their processing, and so they just...
That, or if it was running at 15 frames, they probably don't want that spread around like, oh, man, this looks like booty.
Oh, that's true. I never even thought about that. But, yeah. So, anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried, I know that there also are some people, call me crazy, but there are some people that probably played it and stopped. But so I just wanted to give a quick update, being like, you know what? It's actually still really fun, and it's worth getting back into and playing. And
yeah, that's the cool thing with Fortnite is it's ever changing. Like it's like it seems like every week they're unveiling something new, even if it's small changes. Like you said, like little updates, like 4th of July, you're gonna get bottle rockets. It just seems like pretty cool that they continue to, because it feels like a living, breathing a lot like thing, right? It's not just this stagnant, here's the game, go play it for however long. Yeah, we update it periodically. It just seems like they're always bringing in new ideas, cycling out ideas that maybe were cool, but they probably find like, people aren't using that as much anymore, so let's just get rid of it and add something new that's even cooler. So it seems like they really do care and have such a drive to continue to push it forward and bring new ideas to the table. Like I said, I saw that big ball with the sort of like the latch and doing the big looping turns around like big mountains and stuff, and it looks really cool. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, it just, they're not afraid to bring in an idea and see how it works, which is cool.
Exactly. Precisely. So yeah. Anyway, we have one more game to talk about.
Yes, we do, and it's a doozy.
It's a doozy. You may have heard of it. It just came out. It's a pretty big release.
Super Mario Maker
2.
Yeah, Super Mario Maker 2. It is finally upon us.
Yep.
I feel like a very much awaited game at this point, right? People are ready for it, especially since Nintendo's output this year hasn't been,
Last couple years.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But really, I feel like 2019's been quiet, and like now all of a sudden we're rallying right into like big boomer after big boomer. But they're starting out with Mario Maker 2, and I picked this game up yesterday on Friday when it released, and I did a bunch of streaming over the weekend, which was a blast. And
was that on Twitch?
It sure was. Twitch.tv/Nintendo World Report. That's going to be where I'll be streaming.
And we're what do you call it now? Not verified. But
an affiliate.
An affiliate. So people, I think if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can like.
Yeah, with Prime you get a free Twitch sub every month, so you can give that to whomever you like. But now you can actually give it to us because we are affiliated, and then eventually
That's awesome.
You work up, you could become a partner. But that requires quite a benchmark to reach. I think it's like averaging like 50 viewers, which for us it would be quite a bit, considering it's usually we're getting like 5 to 10, which is not great. But as we're going to continue to stream more often, I think that number will climb. We just started, so. But yeah, I'm going to probably be streaming this weekend, and I'll put a tweet out asking for people's levels to just go through. Anyone who wants to send me their level, I'm going to be playing it on stream. But that's aside the point right now, because we're going to talk about the actual game, and I figured we could start out with the story mode, which is really cool. Now, let me ask you. I know you have been super duper busy the last week.
Yeah, it really was
change.
the busiest week.
A lot of bees, man. Watch out for them.
No, it wasn't the busiest, but it was the busiest week. I played 2 rooftop shows and weddings on the hottest days of the year on Friday and Saturday when it came out. So, I'm so glad that we recorded late because I finally got around to actually designing my first level yesterday, and then I did pick it up like on Monday and started playing it, the story mode, a little bit of it. So yeah, I can talk about it.
All right, so I'm 75%, which it's 75% to rebuilding the castle, because what happens is all these toads have put this beautiful castle together for Peach, and then the reset dog, or the reset rocket, whatever it is, I forget the exact name, he steps and he just blows it all up, which is funny because you need to hold the button down for a few seconds, and then he like steps on it, and they start the countdown, and all the characters are just like, "Oh my god, no!" I'm like, somebody push the dog off the button. They don't though; they just let it go to waste. So your goal is you're going to rebuild the castle, and by doing that, you'll complete jobs, quote unquote jobs, which are just levels, and you get coins for it. And then you can use those coins to start building back the castle. And then when you select, like, all right, we're going to rebuild the main hall first floor back, and like that's going to take four jobs to be completed before this is completed. So you do another level, and then afterwards it's like, oh, we're 1/4 of the way there, and you sort of work your way to that, which is good because usually by the time that piece is done with being built, it's like, all right, I've got enough coins to sort of start working on the next thing. Mm-hmm. And the levels are really great. They start off pretty easy, right? Nothing too crazy. But some of them get pretty difficult, and they're well designed, and they're usually sort of revolve around an idea, right? Like, oh, this one you're not going to jump, or this one you need to collect these certain coins or something. So I'm enjoying the story mode. Like I said, I'm 75% percent to completing my castle, but I think there are way more jobs, or levels, whatever. Way more levels than there are needed to like complete the castle. So
I was flying through it pretty quick.
Yeah, so the percent climbs up pretty quick, but if you're gonna go through and beat all the levels, it'll take a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, I still have probably put a pretty solid amount of hours into the single player, and I'm only 75% through, so it's gonna probably last you anywhere from 5 to 8 hours maybe to beat all those levels. And there are joy, like
infinite.
What's up?
And then an infinite amount of time.
Then all of a sudden, you forever. But
they're a lot of fun. So let's talk about the pros first before we get to the cons of Super Mario Maker 2.
The joys and the cons, baby.
Yeah, I think that what kind of stood out to me that I didn't really think about too much before was just the fact that we have like this demake of Mario 3D World, like a 2D demake that they made, and it's like, oh my goodness, like they took like my favorite franchise, like the 3D Land and 3D World games are like my favorite Mario games. And then they made them. It's kind of like someone said, like, how cool would it be if they did a demake for like the 3DS, where it was in 2D. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like it's just that mindset. It's like, what if it was in 2D, but it had all the same characteristics?
It's like the Breath of the Wild, right? The NES Breath of the Wild they made.
Yeah, kind of like that, exactly. And so, but it's just like that concept being like, what if you played a side-scrolling version of 3D World? And they did it. And it's like, you know what? This could have been its own game on its own. Like a really cool game. And I love that they just put that. It's like it's part of a game. And it's so fully realized, and it's really neat. I really enjoyed that. I wish that there was more input from Nintendo. I wish that there was kind of like I wish that each mode had a campaign. I think that would have been way better, like having like the Mario camp. I think it's fun going through each of them, but like, wouldn't it have been cool if there was like a full campaign for each mode? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. But I guess
crazy,
their thought process is probably like, we just want to show how many different modes we have, right? So it's all just like a random hodgepodge. Like, oh, you're gonna get this time. You're gonna get 3D World. You're gonna get Super Mario World. But real quick, what is your favorite mode to play in?
Like my favorite theme?
Yeah, theme.
I don't know. Probably the new Super Mario Bros. Oh. Actually, to be honest. I mean, it's not my favorite visually, but
yeah, with the little air stall, like whoop.
But with the functions are really, really, really awesome. And I just love that. I just love the wall jumping. I think that's the only one you can wall jump really, besides the new one.
Yeah, no, that's good
probably
too.
My favorite. So that was the one that my first level that I designed it off, because it's just the actual like the feeling of jumping on the walls just feels so good. So
when he gets that feeling.
But of course they all have the same physics, right? It's just I love that some of them. I also like the world that you can throw up the
shells,
the items.
Yeah.
Something I didn't. I know you could even do.
What's crazy is I can't really do it, but like people are really, really crazy good at world, where they can like you throw a shell, like you could essentially wall jump, but like with a shell you throw it off the wall and then you bounce off the shell off the wall. So a lot of these like crazy speedrunners and like people who are really, really good at the game, playing like the Kaizo versions, it's like it requires so many crazy wall jumps with the shells, and like I wish I could be that good, because it looks like, man, it's like so fast and they're so good at it.
All you need to do is devote 4 hours a day. To it.
I'm gonna do it.
And then
I gotta go. I gotta start right now.
You can do it.
Yep.
I believe in you.
I could be the next big thing.
Yeah. So, it's been a lot of fun. Now, can we talk about the crappy things about Super Mario Maker 2?
Nope.
All right.
First
of all, I want to know what you think about it. I mean, like, do you have any things that kind of that you didn't particularly like about,
well,
like either making levels or stuff?
Well, all right. So I have not. I've made one level. I guess I've sort of. So I made one level that I really like. I think it's pretty good.
I need to play that. Yeah, I need to play it.
It's tricky. Like it's definitely. I didn't make it super easy, but it's also not so hard that it's like, oh my goodness, like it's not like a Kaizo where there's just like random blocks that sort of screw you over.
That's stupid.
But it's funny because the guru, good old Bobby, was streaming, and I threw him my level, and it was just to watch him struggle was amazing. But yeah, so I did that.
Dang it,
yeah.
Bobby.
Dang it, Bobby, you stink. No, just kidding, Bobby. And then I did the 3D world. I made, like, it was more so we made a video to sort of show off what toolkit there was. So I went through, like, messing around there. Not a great level, but so I haven't made a ton of levels, but I guess, obviously not having a stylus or like the, how easy it was with the Wii U, like you can definitely tell, okay. And I think the wheel actually works pretty well, like the item wheel, once you sort of get used to it. Like in the beginning, I was like trying to navigate, like, now why am I on the left side menu? I don't want to be over there, And it's like it takes a little bit of like getting used to the inputs. But once you get it, I think the wheel works. Like it's a pretty good workaround for not having a stylus or touchscreen when you're playing docked, right? I think it works well. It's obviously not as good. Obviously, I mean, Wii U, it's not going to get better than that, or the 3DS even, it's not going to get as good as that. But I really have been enjoying it as far as, the workaround. Now, I'm not the biggest maker, in the world, so, I'm not going to be in the maker itself for hundreds of hours where, like, maybe it starts to really get on your, grind your gears a little bit. But, yeah, so that hasn't really bothered me too much. And I haven't played online. I mean, I've done, like, the Endless Mario Makers stuff. But I haven't played, like, the multiplayer.
What do you think about the Endless Mario Maker stuff?
It's cool. I mean, obviously, when there's just a bajillion people making levels, like, you're going to get cruddy ones.
See, and that's what I was
but, like, that happened in Wii U as well,
I don't really remember that for some reason. Maybe
because you've got your rose-tinted glasses on, Purr.
I got my poop-tinted glasses on.
You got poop glasses?
Well, here's the thing. I love the concept of, hey, here we go. I just want to play a bunch of random levels. But the thing is like, they're all crappy. Like, all of them that I played. Like, there's like 1 out of every 10 where I was like, that was actually kind of fun. But like, most of them would be like, okay, I'm playing through this, and then it's just not designed well. Like, just,
what,
okay.
Are you on easy or normal or expert or?
Easy or normal. It's one of those. And it's like, it's just designed poorly. Like, okay, you need the fire flower to like, it's designed around the fire flower, right? Mm-hmm. But if you get hit, then the fire flower is gone. So it's like you have to go back to the beginning, exit the pipe, come back, that kind of stuff to get it back. It's just well, I mean, game design is not very easy. It's cool and it's fun, but obviously, it's not. It's a skill, right? And so that is something that really was kind of been bothering. And then, so it's kind of like, okay, I have to go to that main page of like the popular levels, and then it's like, okay, that's cool. But then you got to go through each one, and just, play it. And you can say, you can boo it or like it. Mm-hmm. And then, you back out, go to the next one. And that's kind of clunky, but it works and it's fun. And that, I'm glad that happens. What they need to be doing is they need to be filtering the levels and finding good ones and promoting those levels. Nintendo does, and I'm sure they are in some way. But I think that
they probably can't have a ton.
They should have a whole team of people that should, or just a couple people that are just playing them every day, picking out good ones and putting them into this is the level we're going to throw into most people's random game. Because it's like, it's just, no offense to all the makers out there, but some of them, God bless their hearts.
You stink on ice.
They stink, and it's not fun for me to play.
Well, I was going to say, the thing with that, too, is I feel like as time moves on, you're going to get the quote unquote casual people who are just like, oh, I'm in the zeitgeist of like new Mario game came out, we're playing it. Yeah, I'm gonna put up some levels. This is awesome. Like, I didn't play Mario Maker on Wii U because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
So those levels are definitely gonna fall off in the coming weeks, right? Because the next big game will come out, or people will get tired of playing this, and then you'll get those people who are really dedicated to the game and actual making. I am interested in making high quality levels, and those are going to start rising, right? And the cream will rise, Perry, and
Good old
and then all of a
Optimus
sudden
case.
it won't be as bad. Now, of course, you're still going to get people who love this game who are just bad at making levels, and
It's
those
not
are
that. Yeah, it's just.
I mean, no,
I
like,
welcome them
it's
to
not
be creating.
I was going to say, it's not like I'm not trying to sling insults at anyone. I know I'm not a
No.
great level designer. It's tough. Like you said, it is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
But having that idea of like something I made, I uploaded, and people can play it. So even if it's a cruddy level, people are doing this, and those are going to come through, And it's just sort of part of the game, right? Name of the game. Now,
Yep.
I'm sure you could go on Reddit. Like, I bet you. I don't want to say I bet you. I know there's a Super Mario Maker subreddit, right? And I bet you they have a list up there of really great levels to play. Like, hey, these are some really great levels. Check them out. So if you're really looking for high quality levels, like, you're going to have to put in a little bit of work. But like they're out there, and you they're going to be curated lists from people like you who are tired of playing crappy levels, right? So they're going to be like, no, here are the good ones. This is what you want to check out.
They need They definitely need. Remember, they had that bookmark site.
Yeah.
For the original one, that should come back so that you can easily tag stuff and just load it.
It's funny, like
it
people were saying, right, with the Nintendo has a dang old mobile app that they make like all these games use, and then like the one that would be so beneficial, like they don't use it for. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, dude.
To
And
be
what
able
is
to
going
like
on?
share.
It's like, I cannot see my friends' lists. What? What is going on here?
Classic
Why do I not
Nintendi.
see my friends? It's so stupid. You have to find someone's friend code? We have friends lists. What? It makes no sense at all.
Classic
It's just dumb.
Nintendo.
And I know there's a reason why they did that, but it's just they should have got over that hurdle. But I'm going to talk about 3 things in the Maker that I'm dumbfounded that they're not in there. One thing is there's no paint bucket tool. There's no paint bucket tool. So you can't just tap an area and it will fill up with whatever tile you have.
So that
You
was
have
like
to
you would
place
make a
everything.
box essentially, right? Like the outline of the
Make a
box.
box, yeah.
And then you would, So you need to do a big copy and paste.
Oh yeah, you can do that, but
No,
you
I
can
know.
copy-
It's annoying though.
That's true. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The other thing, there's no eyedropper tool. Like you can't just highlight something, press X or whatever, and just grab whatever that is. You have to you have to do the copy tool. But the thing is the copy doesn't save it. It's like you hit LL twice, and then you can copy anything. But like you can't just like
It only
hit
copies
copy.
once.
It only copies one.
And
You
then
got to
you need
keep
to
dragging it from
yeah.
one another. It is so stupid. It's crazy. And then to top it off, there's no hidden areas. There's no ground tile, like false walls, like that you find in Mario, in New Super Mario Bros. That franchise, you see what's under there. Like I want to see what's under there. Like maybe there's a little gap in the wall, and you think I bet there's some secret down there, and you go down there. There's none of that in there. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And I guess I figured that was in the first one, but I'm sure that wasn't in the first one either. But that is such a fun game mechanic, having hidden stuff. And it just made everything really clunky. And I am going to add right here that all those features are in Chicken Wiggle. And that was the thing that I couldn't, which is really funny to me. Because I'm sitting here going, why is a game made by a game designer and a programmer? Why is that, 2 guys made Chicken Wiggle? Why is that better than does it have a lot of things better than Mario Maker? It's just really interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it has something to do with the varying style, like degrees of themes, like if somehow it would, but you'd think they have so many other tools that just work across all of them, like that they would, this shouldn't be an issue, like that shouldn't be a holdup or anything. Do you think these could be something, especially like the eyedropper or the paintbrush tool? Like, do you think that's, or paint bucket, I should say? Do you think that's something we might see in an update? Because it's like you said,
I would love it.
It seems like it should be something that should be there, and presumably something that shouldn't be. I don't want to speak for any like how difficult something would be, but like it's like they have plenty of other tools. Like come on,
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope they update the OS, and I think they could use that. And the other thing is like I kind of find the making levels docked like basically unplayable. Like it is really hard. At least it's a super huge learning curve. Like what are you supposed to press and stuff, and how do you get to everything, and what and it's really clunky. Like it takes a long time, which I think it's like I could do it, but it's like I don't want to spend like 3 seconds every 10 seconds figuring out how do I do something. I want it to be natural, and you do it, and and I think that no matter what, like the first one, I did not have that learning curve. The first one, it's like, okay, here's all the tile stuff. You click it, you drag. It's that easy. Wii U, perfect game on the Wii U. Okay, hot take, Case. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Super Mario Maker 2 should have been on the Wii U also. I was actually talking about that with
Said
Jules. I was like,
nobody
wouldn't that be
ever.
hilarious? No, but think about it, though. Wouldn't that be funny if they would have released it? It probably would have done really well on the Wii U.
I mean, not as well as on the Switch.
No, not as well as on the Switch. Not even close.
The way I see it is, Mario Maker was conceived as a Wii U game because it was
totally
perfect.
a Wii U game.
And then they went, oh my goodness, everyone loves this game. Of course we're going to bring it to the Switch. And then it's just a matter of like, all right, well, now we need to make it work. And like you said, the wheels don't work as well when you're playing docked. But honestly, once you sort of get the inertia of how it all works, right? Like, oh, this, like the pull up the wheel, like, oh, you got the enemy wheel, you got the terrain wheels. And like, there's a little bit of fumbling through menus, but as you use it more, it becomes more second nature, where you won't have to think about it. And sure, it might take a little bit longer, but I think for what they have to work with, in docked, like it's a good solution. But of course,
it is.
It's never going to be as good as the OG, But now, are you interested in picking up a stylus to do? Because you can't use the buttons.
I have one.
Right? You can't use buttons when you're in portable, right? You have to use the touchscreen. I think I've seen that.
No, you can use buttons.
Are you sure? For creation.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah, I mean like you have to use like the L and R and stuff and copy and stuff. Yeah, I mean you can use the shoulder buttons for sure.
For some reason,
you can use the buttons.
All right.
When you're in.
For some reason,
when you're in handheld mode.
What's that?
When you're in handheld mode.
Yeah, I thought in level creation, for some reason, I thought I had read somewhere that that like you'd have to use the touchscreen or something.
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
Well, maybe for like the inputting.
Yeah,
maybe there are some limitations, but I'm constantly using
because I'm looking. Because
all the the shoulder buttons, the analog stick, and the D-pad constantly.
Because I'm looking at I'm trying it right now, and I'm pretty all right. I want to copy this. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you need to there are some buttons that you can use, but as far as placing it down, it's like you need to use the touchscreen.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to use buttons.
Well,
instead,
I mean, but like now if
you're used to it, docked, and then you play it.
Well, I was thinking to use your finger doesn't feel that great. You know what I mean? Like you have a stylus, of course, like that works really nice.
Yeah, the finger doesn't feel that good.
But to use your finger, it works.
Styluses, dude.
But it's like you're using the left stick to move.
Yeah. I will say that over time, over the 4 hours or 3 hours I took creating this level yesterday, obviously you learn how to deal with stuff and you get faster. It doesn't feel good, but you do get faster, and so it does feel better. It's definitely something, a learning curve, but I was just kind of, honestly, the best thing is dumbfounded. I'm searching, how do you paint stuff? How do you use a paint bucket tool? I was
you don't,
there's no way they don't have that. That's just crazy, It's probably because, I mean, I can guess why they don't have that tool. Because like with Chicken Wiggle, everything is so simple, right? And everything, like there's enemies. If you want with there is like an enemy limit. I think there's 100 enemies. But if you take an enemy and you paint it down, it will fill every tile with that enemy. But with this, I don't think the processing could handle that at all. You know what I mean? You could not place 1,000 Goombas down.
Yeah, too much stuff.
So, but still, they could have figured something. I don't know. Anyway, very much I am enjoying it. There's some. I do want to quickly mention this really fun level I played. Everyone's probably seen it because I think it's one of the most played levels. But it's the table tennis level. Did you see that?
No.
Very neat. If you go to the popular levels, it's really cool. It's set up to where you're facing the computer basically, which is a red bullet bill, and it throws off it throws one of those black shells. I forgot what those are called.
The spiny shells or whatever. No, not the spiny.
Spinies are the spiky ones, but the black ones.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
It bounces it across the screen, and you have to bounce up your black bullet bill to make sure it doesn't hit. It's like Pong. They made Pong. It's really cool.
A really cool one I actually just saw before on Reddit. Someone made Downwell. Like they made
I saw that,
Downwell style game. And I also saw one that they just did the Banjo-Kazooie music. So it was just you literally just walk left to right. Like it's not really a level, but it's just like it does the banjo theme.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do those.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's something I didn't understand or try to do with the first one, making the music with.
What a Jimmy! You are the music man.
I know, man. I never tried it. I need to figure out how to do that and do the Talk Nintendo theme.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna have to happen.
But yeah, I think we're gonna be talking about more Mario Maker 2 as the days go on, especially since
it'll be in my Switch for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good streaming game. Like I said, this weekend I'm gonna put a tweet out probably Saturday night. So this episode is obviously going up a little later than normal, but I'll probably be playing some levels. So you just shoot me over your code and be playing everyone's listener. Well, I guess listener levels. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, man, and when the multiplayer comes out,
hopefully
we'll definitely be streaming and recording a ton of hilarious stuff. I mean,
Yeah, hopefully by then it's
fun.
Fixed. Yeah, I guess we should touch on a little bit. Like I said, I don't have experience with I have not played any multiplayer levels yet, but from all accounts, it's not very good. Like real bad lag. Yeah. Like GIFs I've seen. Now I'm sure there are times when it works fine, but like the amount of people complaining about it and seeing videos of how poorly it's running, it's just like, man, and Nintendo's charging you for it. It's like, oof.
Yeah, oof. Man. It's bad. They need to get.
It ain't good.
They need to get their hiney in gear.
It ain't good.
It ain't good. But you know what else ain't good? Having to take a break from listening to us. That just ain't good.
Well,
but
you know
we are
going
to take a quick break.
Usually it's accompanied by some great music, which I'm gonna put a request. I'm gonna put a request on this one. The desert theme from Super Mario World in Mario Maker 2. Woo,
you got it.
What a good tune.
You got it, Bucky.
Don't call me Bucky. Ooh, that music, baby. Can we go to another break?
No. Dang it. Whoop. Dang it, Dale.
You owe me a Pepsi. You know what? Actually, Caitlin pointed out something I think that is very important in the great Pepsi Coke debate. Mm-hmm. You could wear a Pepsi shirt for the 4th of July because it is American. It's got the American colors. What color is a Coke? Russian.
Commie.
Yeah, dang commies.
That is true. That is true. You got me there.
So there you go.
You got me there. The
you
Pepsi
heard it here
first.
Red,
white, and blue.
You're a commie.
I am not a communist.
Yep. That's what all communists say.
You know when Luann is going to vote for the first time and she just finds the communist cute, so she's going to vote for the communist.
Hank was so proud she was getting into politics too, and then,
So good. Anyway, we have a strict no politics, but if it's King of the Hill, then we can let it slide on the show.
But bring it in.
But here we go. We have the new eShop Roundup. The new eShop Roundup. eHaw. The new eShop Roundup, which means there's new things. One of those being giveaways. Yes, giveaway time. I love giveaway time. And every week, did you know that every week we give away a game on this show?
What about E3 week, Perry?
Shut up.
Well, that's why we've been giving away 2 codes to make up
That's
for
right.
that.
We totally made up for it. Yeah. And we give away 2 codes again this week, and that is for Go Fishing 3D.
There's the
have
reel right there.
That sounded exactly like it. Yeah, we have 2 winners. Why don't you go ahead and tell the winners, Case?
Oh, man. We've got a couple of real great names here. We've got Nova Dragon 05, Nova, the winner. And now my personal favorite here, Pickleman Games. Good old
Games.
Jonathan Towery? Is that
Towery, I think.
Towery?
I think. Yeah. Yeah, and he says, that's awesome. Can't wait to catch the big one.
Oh, yeah. He's going to reel in a couple of prize basses. And you know,
Yeah.
he's looking at a trophy or 2.
And let's quickly. So Pickleman Games. He creates. He's a game maker. He makes family-friendly games that you can play on your web browser. There you go, Pickleman Games.
Boom, good old Pickleman.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who
Thank
entered.
you for entering. Yep. And this week we are giving away Selma and the Wisp. You've probably seen it if you've looked at our thumbnail before. It's right there. This is a really cool looking platformer. It's imagine you were alone and afraid. Imagine you were lost with no one to help. You can take the
Imagine.
next one.
I was just gonna keep reading. The
Oh, okay. Imagine you, imagine you were a child facing its worst nightmare.
In utter darkness, even the dimmest trickle of light means hope. Perry, yes, it does.
Yes, it's pretty serious here. But we're created by a group of passionate developers led by a visionary artist. Selma and the Wisp offers key features.
A couple of key
which
features.
include. What do they include, Case?
Innovative code-dependent control system of not 1 but 2 characters simultaneously, controlled by gamepad or mouse. Which this version, we're talking Switch, so you won't. This ain't no PC game. This is.
That's
a
funny because
Switch game.
I took this from the Nintendo's website, so that's
They
funny
probably
that it says
have
mouse
one
on there.
print, I would imagine, right?
Um,
Unless you
and
can hook
also-
up that SNES mouse pad somehow.
That would be amazing. They also have a lot of amazing puzzles to solve, interspersed by arcade elements.
An artistic mastership of graphic design and low poly style, in which each frame is truly a masterpiece. That's
this really
a
is
high
a cool
billing
looking
right
game.
there, boys. But
It is. It's a cool looking game. You can win it just by retweeting our tweet. So go to Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo.
POD.
There you go. It'll be pinned to our profile.
And I will
Retweet.
say, and also, you could just click the description right in this here podcast if
right.
you're listening on your phone. This game looks really cool. It visually looks nice, and I believe Perry might be checking this game out himself.
That's right.
So we might have a little update on it next week. But yeah, no, this is definitely a game I think you guys are going to want to check out. And remember, we've been getting solid amount of retweets. I don't want to undersell that. But, you know, like this previous one, I believe, was just over 20, and there were 2 codes. So that's a 1 in 10 chance.
Yep.
Only 1 code this week, but, you know, if we're only getting, let's say, 30 retweets, that's still a 1 in 30 chance to get a free game that looks really cool. So we definitely recommend you guys be doing that and helping out. It helps us out by getting the word out there, but it also helps you out by getting a chance at playing a sweet game. Now,
And it helps the game makers out.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Win.
It is a triple win.
It's a triple play.
It's like
Anyway,
the triple crown of horse racing, except
That's right.
we're not fishing and we're not platform. Whatever. We're here to talk
You know,
about some games.
on Frasier, when Niles buys his dad a horse, and he's like, we're gonna keep him at a stable where he can wear his triple crown all day. Frasier's like, they don't give him a crown, you idiot.
Oh man, I wish there's one thing in this, like, if you could not ask for money, you might as well ask, like, and you had like a magic genie wish, you know?
Yeah.
Like, give me
Yeah.
a triple crown winning horse. Because, like, they just stud that thing out like, and you get
Yeah.
6 figures per stud, and it's just like, nope, I'm just gonna stud this thing out for the rest of its
That's
life.
a disgusting way to make money.
Oh yeah, you're pretty much
Anyway.
a horse pimp.
Yeah.
But I would
Anyway.
take it. I'd buy a big
Anyway,
hat
let's
like
move
Hank
on.
Hill.
Okay, Casey. Okay. Yes, we all know you take your stud fees.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move
But
on
I
to our
would-
picks of.
I'd also get a
Go
car
ahead.
like Hank did when he was a pimp.
Yes.
I would
his
pretty
Cadillac
much just
car
become Hank Hill.
and that hat,
Oh, it's so good. And then
It really
Snoop
is.
Dogg.
alabaster.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
No offense, Luann, but he's from Oklahoma. Anyway, it's time to move on to the second part of the new eShop
Our
Roundup.
picks,
if
baby.
That's what we call it. Picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
Yes, and so you have 2 games.
I got
here.
Dos
We have
Equis.
our runner-up, and then we have our game of the week. So let's start with your runner-up.
Runner-up, Arcade Archives Ninja Spirit from 1988. It is the old Arcade Archive. It sucks.
Isn't it so hard to
It's so
say?
funny. The first time, I'm like, I'm gonna say this right, and I nailed it. And then I got cocky and I doubled back to say the old Arcade Archives price of
Yep.
$7.99. I should have quit while I was ahead. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool, like a side-scrolling little beat 'em up action. But the sprites look really cool. I really like the colors. It's like a very it's not super vibrant, like they're sort of dull, but like they look really
yeah.
nice. And then like all of a sudden you
They're
get
cool.
some of the characters. Like I'm looking at this one crazy, looks like an undead big behemoth man. He's got nice red hair, and
Yeah,
it
and
makes
he's
them
bald
pop a
also,
little bit
and
more.
he has a huge sword.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I said, from 1988, really great.
Dude, I can't
sprite
believe
work.
that's from '88.
Yeah,
you know?
and ninjas are always cool. So boom.
Yeah, and it's 2 players. There you go. And my runner-up is also an older game. Can you believe that?
I believe
That is Wonder Boy Monsterland. So this is a really cool. Obviously, I'm a converted fan of Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy's weird, right? There's a lot of different variations of Wonder Boy.
It's almost confusing.
Yeah. But this one is pretty cool. We actually have a review up for it on Nintendo World Report, I think. Right? Didn't Neil review it? I feel like he did. Maybe I'm dreaming that. But anyway, it's really cool. It's $7.99. It's part of the Sega Ages, and you know Sega is ages spelled backwards. See?
Boom.
Did you know that? So, all right, moving on to your pick of the week.
Pick of the week: Stranger Things 3: The Game for $19.99.
Now this is really cool.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this because it's. I hope that this is a trend. I hope that's. I love the idea of kind of taking the indie vibe, an indie studio, and then attaching it to a huge property. You know, and I think that's a really. It kind of reminds me of the good old days in gaming where you know the licensed games would come out on the Super Nintendo and they would look like this.
Yeah, and from what I understand, it sticks pretty much faithful to the plot of season 3. Now, season 3 just dropped yesterday as of recording on the 4th of July, and I rallied through 5 of the 8 episodes already.
Well,
Needless to
la-di-da.
say, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I love the aesthetic of the the visuals of this game. It looks really cool, and
It's like isometric.
Yep, you got some beat 'em ups, right? It looks like a good old fashioned beat 'em up game. Now, I'm actually pretty interested in potentially checking this game out after I finish up the actual series, which will probably happen tonight.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be looking at these screenshots, should I?
Yeah,
'Cause it could
I'm
be
definitely
spoilers.
seeing some areas from that I've already witnessed in the game. But yeah, I would probably not do that. But yeah, no, it looks cool. Stranger Things is a really great series, right? And something I've been enjoying. So I am interested to see how this game shakes out as far as critical response. But yeah, potentially, who knows? I might be able to talk about it in the near future, but no promises.
All right. Well, I have a promise for you, and that is we're going to talk about my pick of the week, which is War Tech Fighters. And this is from
whoops.
Blowfish Studios. Don't
Yeah.
clap. We're not actually talking about
I
it.
forgot about it. Yep.
Look at that. You're Pavlov's dog. We played this at PAX South. I met with Blowfish Studios. They were really cool. This is a very cool mech game. John Raridan, therefore, reviewed it. And you
Seems
can check
like
it
a
out.
John
It gave it a good
Raridan
score.
kind of game, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty really a pretty impressive game when we played it. If not on the simple side, but there's something about using a mech in space with a huge sword. There's just something about that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it all comes together very nicely.
Yeah. So anyway, check out War Tech Fighters. That is $19.99 from Blowfish Studios. And with that, we are done with the eShop Roundup.
Putting it in
And-
the rear view mirror.
That's right. And that means we're going to... And I see our next stop. And our next stop is the news block.
News Talk with Cassie Gibbons.
I was gonna say, what was it? The YouTube Saloon and the Twitch Lagoon. No, we're not
Yes,
at the Twitch Lagoon
I didn't
yet.
have time to make the jingle for that yet, but it will happen. It
Yeah,
will
especially as, like I said, we plan on streaming more often, so the Twitch Lagoon is going to be a mainstay. But yeah, we're here for the news block, and we got some games and some news to talk about. Not a ton of news, but we've got Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town remake announced. This is the Game Boy Advance Classic Harvest Moon.
Oh.
Now this is
It's a remake?
Yeah, this is one of the more well-renowned, and more fondly looked upon Harvest Moon games, which have sort of lost their way, right? Like they're just not really, what people want, and that's why Stardew Valley was sort of like, hey, this is the game we want, and I think they are like, all right, well, if we can't sort of hit the magic that we've hit in the past, why don't we just bring back what everyone seems to really enjoy?
That's really cool.
Yeah, and this is
that's cool. I've never played a game though.
Really?
I've never played a Harvest Moon.
You've played Stardew though, right?
For like an hour.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially Stardew is taking all of the good of what Harvest Moon is. So, but no, I think people really love Friends of Mineral Town. So I think this will have great success on the Switch.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. I think that's. I mean, I would totally be like down for trying it out. I've heard that like they've just been really crappy lately.
Yeah, because what happened was like the original, like the people who make Harvest Moon games now aren't the people that like originally made it. Like they lost the naming somehow. Mm-hmm. So you get Harvest Moon games, but they're not really from like those people. You know what I mean? And then I forget. I'm trying to think what the actual story. I think Story of Seasons. Is formerly known as.
Yeah, that's like the.
I think that because it's essentially
that's made by the Harvest Moon team.
Yeah, so it's like it branched off where the original Harvest Moon is being like not made by like the new Harvest Moons are not made by the original Harvest Moon people, but but those people went on to make I think Story of Seasons. I don't know, it's confusing, but regardless, good news I say.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I like it.
What do we got next year, Jerkum?
Oh, you'd like for me to tell you that, wouldn't you?
Nope, because I'm going to take it.
It's another
Cuphead DLC.
Hey.
The teaser has come out, unfortunately, with a delay to 2020.
Dang it, Bucky.
God dang it, you call me Bucky one more time. Yeah, so Cuphead, it gave a very light teaser, showed off like a boss, which looked cool. Obviously, Cuphead, beautifully visual game. But yeah, 2020... But you know what? I feel like that's sort of the story of Cuphead, right? It was like they showed it off, and then it was a real long time before it came out because obviously the art style just takes a really long time to get down because it of how it looks and the hand drawn nature of it all. But yeah, for me, it's having just played it. I'm okay with waiting, and when it comes out, I'm definitely going to be picking this DLC up because it looks like I said, I turned out to really enjoy Cuphead way more than I would have imagined. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Can I say my piece on this?
I guess.
Boring.
Boom. There you have it.
You know why though? But listen, you know why?
Because you're a Jimmy.
Because just make Cuphead 2.
Just
make Cuphead 2.
I don't think they want to.
Well, I don't want DLC. I don't want DLC. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm kind of anti-DLC now.
All right. Well, there you have it.
Yeah. yeah, I'm a hater. I'm a hater of DLC.
Yeah, Perry's
Not really.
become jaded
But
and
speaking
hated.
of, well, let's just use that as a segue, and we'll skip over that one, and we'll get to this one. Speaking of hating on DLC,
DLC.
Fire Emblem Three Houses expansion pass was announced. It's $24.99. Not too bad for the. I think that that's pretty cheap, right?
In
compared
comparison to previous Fire Emblem DLCs, this is like way, way, way better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we had. I mean, Fire Emblem has become the DLC.
Yeah, this style of
Haven.
game, right? It just we've got like the engine, we've got everything. Like we just need to pump out more levels and costumes. Like easy peasy.
Yep. There you go. So, $25 will reward players with an appropriate costume for Byleth. Is that what they said? Appropriate costume.
This is copied from good old Donald Terrio. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Donald. And it's coming out on launch day. And thank you. And
pervert.
the eShop has 3 other items listed in the pass. So, yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's cheap. I've heard that. I think someone on staff mentioned that like the Shadows of Valentia that DLC was not worth it at all.
Well, I'm pretty sure, like, in Awakening 2, like, it was way more piecemeal, right? So it'd be like, like, if you wanted all the DLC, it's going to cost you more than what the game cost, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where this, it's, like, the additional 3 pieces. You got items and auxiliary battles, given a release date of October 31st. Then the second one is quests and new attire, December 31st. And then additional story content, April 30th, 2020. So, again, they sort of want this game to have legs, sort of like, all right, like you keep checking back in. December and April releases will also bring free general content updates, which is nice. Give you some free stuff, but yeah, to me it's like items and battles. Like I guess the battles are gonna be good, right? Like that might be something you want. Quests and attire. It seems like story content, that's gonna be the big boy. Quests, that'll be interesting. Battles, and then like they sort of like pepper in some other stuff for you. But yeah, as far as all of the other Fire Emblem DLC, it seems like this is sort of more appropriately priced. Of course, it'll be dependent on how robust this story content and these other quests are to see if it'll truly be worth it, but at least they're not nickel and diming you to the tune of $60, $70, $80,
Right. Yeah. So that's something that's coming up pretty soon. Like I said, I'm not totally shelving this game. If it gets some good reviews, I'll probably get it. So
yeah, I think I've sort of
I'm
come
up for
to
some Fire
terms
Emblem.
that I'll probably be getting it as well, because I know the Thirsty Mage talk of doing a nice Fire Emblem centered, 3 houses episode.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up with it end of the month. Jimmy's gonna Jimmy, so
Jimmy. Yeah. Speaking of Jimmy's jimmying, in news that surprised no one, Super Mario Maker 2, the physical week 1 sales almost double the original on Wii. I mean, I know that's crazy.
There's probably double the amount of Wii Switches out there opposed to Wii U's at the time of launch for that as well. So yeah, it makes sense, obviously, right? People have been hungry for a nice Nintendo game, and they're giving it to you.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, just because I meant to say this before while we were talking about it, because it's a fun dream, if they were coming out with a second 3DS, a 4DS, whatever.
Oh, I want it.
Wouldn't Super Mario Maker 2 be perfect? Wouldn't that be perfect? Having the stylus and having that big juicy screen with the better resolution.
And then have cross play on the levels and stuff.
Yep. It would be
Give me
perfect,
the
dude.
4DS, dang it, I want it.
I know. That'd be so good. Anyway, it's time for some listener mail.
Give me that listener mail.
Listener mail.
I don't need new jingles. I already have that one.
That ain't a jingle. That's just some
Your
beautiful
excitement.
music for the people.
That's right. We have a couple of things here. One of them is is from Twitter. One of them is from our
The old mailbag itself.
That's right. You can, and why don't you tell us where they can email us?
Well, there's 2 ways. If you feel you just woke up in the morning, you're trying to stretch those fingers out for the day, you can email us at talknintendopodcast@nintendoworldreport.com. Or if it's a little later in the day and you're tired and you don't feel like typing out so many letters, you can just go tnp@nintendoworldreport.com. It'll save you a couple of keystrokes. And, maybe in the beginning of the day you want to save those keystrokes because you're going to have a hardcore day on the old computer slapping away. tnp@nintendoworldreport.com. Probably the easiest way to do it. Hey, you don't feel like busting out that Gmail, that Yahoo, your whatever email you guys are using these days. Yeah, the
AOL.
hotmail.com. You can just tweet at us at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo.
POD.
Just like
Brody did.
Ooh, good old Brody.
Yeah, that's at Brody_S10. Good old listener of the show. He says, regarding summer games, because we talked about the summer games nostalgia last week, which was a lot of fun. He says, my favorites have to be Smash 3DS and the first Splatoon. The summer of 2015, all day, every day, I would play a round of Splatoon and in between matches, play CPU matches in Smash. That's how I got to over 300 hours in both surprised emoji, laughing cry emoji. So
that's a whole lot of play, baby.
You know what? Yeah, I should have mentioned that too, Brody, on mine. That is such a summer game for me as well, the 3DS version of Smash.
That's
My
a good
favorite
combination
version
of games,
Smash.
too.
Yeah, man.
To play in conjunction with one another like that.
Oh yeah, so good. So thank you for tweeting at us, Brody. And now we're gonna get into our email from Johnny Boyden, also known as Jonathan Boyden. I just called him Johnny Boyden.
Old Johnny B. Johnny
Why don't
B.
you take it,
Good.
Case? Johnny B. Good.
You want me to read this puppy?
Yeah.
1997 to 2002, small town, Ohio. Had a friend, and a group of us would go swimming all day at his pool and play N64 all-night multiplayer on a giant Sony tube TV that probably weighed 1,000 pounds in his basement. Smash Bros, Mario Kart, WWF, WrestleMania, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. Wake up at noon, ride bikes to the old gas station to get your cappuccinos and eat a whole box of Fruity Pebbles for lunch. I would spend 3 to 4 days at a time before we would hate each other and then come back a day or two later, then reconciling, potato. We got into Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, and I would ride my bike across town carrying my computer tower. Nerd alert! Nerd
Oh
alert!
my goodness.
I give him props because I would be afraid I'd drop that sucker.
That's amazing, Jonathan.
Can you imagine just driving down the road? You're
tower.
like, what is that? What is that kid got on the back of his bike?
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. And by the way, just fantastic email, because that's that fits right in with a lot of people's growing up nostalgia video games.
The good old days, man.
Totally. I love the 4 days at a time.
They need
before
a couple
we'd hate
days
each
off,
other
yeah.
and then come back. Oh, isn't that totally it? That's just so perfect. So I love summer games nostalgia. It's a real thing.
Oh, for sure.
Because the end of school, being at home,
you had all that time,
being
man.
bored, but and then you played games until you were bored of them. But then that's just.
But it didn't happen because you played games until you had to go back to school.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
Oh God, people heard my excitement last week. I pumped the brakes. Yeah. But quick, sort of a related note here in the summer games. The speedrunning marathon Summer Games Done Quick (SDGQ) just wrapped up last week, and it was awesome. I recommend people, if you've never heard of it, it is a week-long speedrunning marathon where they literally just speedrun after speedrun from a huge variation, wide range of games the entire week. Obviously plenty of Nintendo games are represented, but you got all sorts of games in there. Really great cause. People are raising tons of money, and they shattered their previous high was like $2.4 something million for the week. $3 million. They hit $3 million this year It was awesome to watch. I was watching the final speed run of Chrono Trigger to close out the marathon, and it was sort of the race to see if they could get to 3 million. Really, really awesome. They have all the VODs up on Twitch and probably on YouTube too. Definitely worth checking out. Some really great stuff, and like I said, raising a ton of money for a great cause, and it's just fun to see all these games played and sort of optimized to just blow through as fast as they can. And yeah, I always love that time of year, so I think if you haven't ever checked it out, it might be worth checking out.
Summer games done quick.
Boom. And then they have Awesome Games Done Quick, which is done in January, so it's a bi-yearly thing.
Why not winter games done quick?
Because no, I don't know.
Because no. All right.
WGDQ. I don't know.
Anyway, this last segment of the show, it's let me explain it real quick. So we recorded this with the Bivs a few weeks ago. And it was the episode 142.
The predictions.
So it was like a month ago. When it was over 3 hours, we recorded with Jordan. And it was like, we're not going to put this segment on a 3-hour show. That's just silly. So, if you hear some time-stamped material that sounds weird, remember, the Bivs also recorded another podcast with us for the Patreon exclusive, and we mentioned that. And anyway, so just so that there's not any confusion, this was recorded a month ago, but it's it's so much fun. The segment is one of my favorite segments we've ever recorded.
Oh, it's a doozy.
I love Danny. I love Danny Bivens. I love Casey. And so we played Mystery History. It was a lot of fun. And so we're going to get into that right now.
You mean Reversery?
Mystery Reversery. Did I say Mystery History?
You sure did, you Jimbot.
Sorry, we didn't play Mystery History. We played Mystery Reversery.
It's been a
Here
month. He forgot. In his old age, his memory's gone. Alrighty, we are back, and boy,
Konnichiwa!
do we have a treat for you all. Yes, we do.
What's
Jordan
that?
has stepped out, as I'm sure
Yes.
many of us are pretty happy about. But we're bringing in, we're trading a Canadian for a
upgraded.
Japanesey. And that is the one, the only, the Bivs, Mr. Danny Bivens.
Hey guys, the pleasure is all yours.
It sure is, let me tell you. I've been waiting months for this.
It really is, yeah. It is all ours. Thanks for coming on, Danny. So, if anyone doesn't know who Daniel the Bivs Bivens is,
Where have you been?
Yeah, where have you been? He lives in Japan. He works there. He's a working stiff in Japan.
Yep.
But he's very much not Japanese. But
The green eyes might give it away. I don't know.
yeah, no, he's great, and he hosts the Famicast over on thefamicast.com, which used to be over at NintendoWorldReport.com, which is where we are based.
That's right.
I believe, didn't you guys start off on RFN's feed?
Yeah, we did. We did start off on RFN's feed, and then after X amount of years, I was like, they're probably getting sick of putting up all this stuff for us, so I'm going to do it myself. And then we had our own feed and all that stuff. So,
Boom.
There you go. Anywho, we're going to play a game with Danny. It's fun, and it's a game where we play music backwards, and it's reversed music, and it's a mystery what the games are. So it's called Mystery Reversery. Mystery Reversery. Mystery Reversery. So the way this works is there are 5 games that I have, and I picked a song out of each game, and I'm going to play 3 little segments of each song that are reversed. And Danny and Casey have to figure it out what the songs are. Now, if they guess it after the first segment, then they get 3 points. If they guess it after the second, they get 2. If they guess it after the third, they get 1. The kicker is if they guess and they get it wrong, it's -1. So you only want to guess if you're pretty sure what it is. But
that, or if you don't care about your points.
Exactly. And there have been some amazing comebacks with Hail Marys with stuff at the end. So it's really fun. The new rules that I think I started last game is every game is from a different Nintendo system.
okay.
Okay.
So that's to help fuel it. And then if it gets down to the third segment when people don't know it, I have a one code word for each game. It's just one word to help. It's like a hint. for each
Mario.
game. Yeah.
Oh, it's Super Mario Bros.
Wrong.
Yeah, idiot.
It's Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels.
Mario's
Deluxe.
missing.
Yeah. Oh god.
Mario is missing. That'd be a good
You know what's actually funny? I think, ironically enough, that Jordan has stepped out for a hot second. I believe this will be the first episode without him.
I know. Well, no.
Or no, or he's just been
he's-
on a
he's
string
just-
of them
yeah.
lately. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We decided he's winning too much, so
We need to give me a chance, so we brought in the Bivs.
So we brought in the
Yeah, hey, I'm telling you what, I'm not
Now-
going to do good here. That's okay, though.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. With this game is I try to pick games that like we as hosts of Nintendo podcasts should know. And I try to be, like I'm not like going like I'm not like pulling out like Sushi Striker, Like I mean, you know what I mean.
Well, why not?
Well, yeah, because I don't.
Because you haven't played it yet, you Jimbot.
Well, Danny actually is a Sushi Striker.
Yes, I am. So
In real life, that's his job.
yes,
So
yes.
people
That'd
don't
be
know that. So
amazing.
it was based
It
off
wasn't
of-
there a was it Seinfeld with like this I'm forgetting what show it was where they went into like a Japanese place and it was just like a white guy
Chinese
making the
restaurant?
sushi. And they're
Oh,
like, I don't know if I
no,
trust
I-
that guy.
I think it was Doug.
Doug?
No, I'm
Like-
kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, wait.
19Nickelodeon's
I was like,
Doug.
wait, really?
No,
I was like,
That's
dang,
not
man.
Seinfeld. Yeah. Yeah, Nickelodeon's or ABC's Doug.
no Disney's Doug. I'm talking Nickelodeon's
Oh
Doug.
my god.
That's
I
the way it goes.
forgot that Doug made the switch.
Yeah.
That's a weird switch.
Oh,
Very
well, I
weird.
was glad though at the time because Doug was my one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon back in the day. So,
The Honker Burger,
You know-
the Beats. I mean, come on.
oh baby, yeah. I need more allowance, yodeling,
Yeah.
because I do.
Okay, and with that, we're going to go to our first game selection here. So are you lads ready?
I guess I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Yeah, it says
All
ready.
right.
Yeah, let's rock and roll, baby.
All right, here's the first. What are we calling these? I'm just going to call them segments. Here's the first segment.
Oh, I know what it is, but I can't think of the game right now.
I got it.
Okay. Oh, and that's the thing. Danny, if you just want to private message me on Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot we didn't. Or text me. You can text me if you want.
Okay, actually, that's going to be easier.
Yeah, that's probably way easier. Same with you, Case.
Let's-
The worst, it's like I totally know what song it is. Like I could, but I'm trying to think which game it is.
So I'm
What
just,
a
I'm
Jimmy.
just, I'm just guessing
go ahead and-
the game.
You're just the game. You don't have to know the song because we're not insane people.
Okay, because I think I actually know the song too.
I sent in a text.
Me too.
All right. Well, you both got it right. The code
Boom.
word for this one
Mario.
was raccoon.
There we
Code
go.
Raccoon. And that is, what is it, Danny?
Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's Resident Evil set. No, this is Super Mario Brothers 3, and if I'm not mistaken, this should be the Cloud World theme or like the Sky World theme.
Yes, I think yes. It is, and it also sounds like the if Casey, like when I was thinking with Casey, it also sounds like the underworld levels. I mean the swimming levels.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I initially was thinking. And then I was like, okay, is this the third or second? And I was like, no, I don't think it's the second one. That was sort of different, right? Well, there you go.
You know,
he's
here's
starting
the
us
thing.
off easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Casey, can you keep track of the points?
Yeah, I've already got him down.
Good.
0 points for the Bivs.
I was
6
really
for me.
worried about that one. Because, I mean, for this exact reason. I was like, when I'm playing these games, I'm like, either they're going to get them, and I was like, this is the one. I'm like, you know what? If it's an easy one, we can have an easy one. Why not?
Well, you start
know?
us off. You pump up. You know, our steam.
Like, now we got some points on the board, you know what I mean?
We're feeling confident.
Yeah.
We're not going
Like,
to go
we
into
are-
negatives. Hopefully.
We're on track for the highest scored game yet.
Boom. Let's go.
So, that's good, right?
It's gonna be 15-14, but who's gonna win?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
I think we already know the answer to that case.
Exactly.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we
Probably
all know
you.
the answer.
Nobody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get right into our second one here. So here is the second game, the first segment.
I'm not. I feel like I've heard this song, but I'm not ready to make a commitment just yet.
Yeah,
Thank you, Casey.
I'm the same too.
All right, so we want to move on. We want to move straight on to segment number 2. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Oh my God, I think I know, but I'm afraid.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but
Oh.
yeah, I think I might make. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah. It's
I'm putting in a beeper here.
All right. I will say that Casey got it.
Booyah, baby.
Not
Wait.
incorrect.
What?
Yes, you got it. You got it not incorrect. You got it correct.
You
yes.
big jerk.
Yeah. Wait. Huh?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
All right. So, and here's the thing, Danny. If you don't know it, it's okay. If you don't want to risk it, if you just want to wait one more,
You got one more and a code word.
You can still guess it with this next one.
All right, I think I'll wait for the code word in the yeah.
Well, hold on, because the code word that's just for. I don't know how I work that in with points.
I mean,
I guess we'll do that. We can do that for 1 point. Should we just do 1 point?
yeah, I mean,
no.
we're
was
trying
thinking
to have a
just for-
friendly game here, and I already got it anyway, so I don't care if he gets his measly 1 point.
You know what? Let's do this because this is really fun.
Half a point?
Half point, yes.
Okay.
Let's do half points at the end. So
So
I'll
he
give you
gets
one
to
chance.
get. Okay, I gotcha.
So if you get this next one, it'll be worth 1 point, and then if you need the hint, then we'll give you half point.
Okay.
Which is almost just as good as 1 point. So here we go. It's half as good as 1 point. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I think I know.
Oh, you think you know, huh? You think you know.
No, but let's go with this. Sending in my answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Super Mario Galaxy 2. No, just kidding. It was Super Mario Galaxy. You all got it.
Woo! I was gonna say
Good
at
job.
first I was thinking, I'm like, man, would he have the gall to do double Marios? And then I went, of course he would.
See,
Of course
that's-
he would.
Dude, that's
and
exactly.
then I
you got
figured,
me.
of course I'll probably guess Galaxy, and it'll probably be Galaxy 2.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm very fair with this game. You know, maybe in the future, but the other thing with this game, what I love about that is that we can do Galaxy again in the future, because this is just, one song from any game, so we can repeat games. This isn't like Radio Trivia, even though it seems like a spin-off of Radio Trivia.
Perry's like,
not,
the
so
best
we
thing
can-
about this game is I can make up the rules on the fly.
Half points, code words.
Yeah.
Yeah, the code word for this one I had was gravity.
Okay. Yeah.
The password is gravity. Anyway,
Man, I mean, with that,
All right.
with that
All
second.
right, so we've got 5-4.
Okay.
what Dan?
I'll say with that second track, I thought I knew it. I even typed out Mario Galaxy on my phone to send to you, and I was just hovering over that send button. I was like, oh man, what if I'm wrong? Ugh. So, man, I should have
Yeah.
just went with my gut.
Well, if
He
you
got
would've done
cold
that,
feet.
We would have been
Did.
tied.
Classic Bivs. Classic Bivs.
Classic.
Yep. Tell that to my second wife.
You really bivsed it.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
All right. Here's game number 3, segment number 1.
That's a big nope on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, no clue.
It's funny because
Was this when you were worried about, like, oh, they'll get it super easy?
no, maybe I never know. It's funny because I want to say stuff about it, but I can't because it would give stuff away.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Hold your tongue, Perry.
It's
or
like all I can do is
say
just
what you
bull
want and
crap
give
right
us
now
some
and just
hints.
say nothing about anything. That's one thing is I just finished getting this ready right before we recorded it, and I was humming the melody to one of these. I was like, I probably should stop humming the melody.
Yeah, in the Skype call beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here is segment number 2 of game number 3.
I am drawing a big old blank here.
Really?
So far, yeah.
Yeah, I'm even trying to think of like what system this would even be.
Well, yeah, it can't be the Wii and it can't be the NES, right? As
Exactly.
per the new set of rules installed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it sounds like it's fairly complicated, so I don't think it's Super Nintendo, or it's definitely not Game Boy. I'm thinking like maybe GameCube or something. But even if that's the case,
Like I said, I can't. That's all. That's all I can say.
I mean, there are a lot of GameCube games, so I mean, I don't know if that really helps.
Yeah. Well, so no guesses.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
This might be a code word one.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Here's number 3.
No, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it definitely sounds rock and rollish, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm ready for my tip.
Yeah, I'm ready
All
for
right.
this.
My code word.
Scrub
If
hint.
you guys, all right, we're officially closing
So now-
guesses now.
so now this will be
work
a
that you
half
just send us a
point?
guess to. Half point.
Do we get minus half a point if we If we
Yes.
guess and get it incorrect?
Yes.
It's not just a freebie?
Nope, not a freebie.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, ready?
Rock and roll.
The code word is sushi.
Would he do... No, because sushi would be in the title of Sushi Striker. You wouldn't do that, would you?
Well,
Don't ask me.
you never know. It is Pert. I mean, he might do it.
He is a big pert.
He is a big jerk.
So, code name is Sushi. That would be insane to be...
All right. Forget
Are
it.
you... I don't know. Are we...
I'm just going for it, and it's probably right. If this is right, I'm gonna like crap my pants.
I just feel like... I'm holding off. I'm going to keep my lead.
Look at that
You're gonna keep
chicken
your
over
lead.
there.
Yep, yeah. Baka!
Yeah. What a chicken. Well, Danny, he guessed Sushi Striker. And I was giving a hint before about, I said I wouldn't pick Sushi Striker, And that's kind of funny because I literally said in this episode that I am not a jerk and I would not pick Sushi Striker. Yet Danny comes over here and he guesses Sushi Striker. I literally said I'm not going to pick that game.
Yeah, but you're a big jerk.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't lie to you and be like, ha! Like I literally like take my word. It's not Sushi Striker.
I didn't know if this was like reverse psychology or
Yeah,
not.
That's what I
reversery,
call it.
psychology
Mystery
reversery.
Reversery. No, this is Splatoon, baby.
Oh
Splatoon.
my god.
Okay.
Splatoon. I thought when I said sushi, everyone would be like, "Oh."
Well, we were like, this guy's a big jerk, so he's probably trying to mess with us.
Yeah.
I'm not. That isn't the Assad that I'm not really a jerk, but it's funny to call me. Do you think I'm a jerk?
Well,
Yeah, that's totally the facade.
been meaning to tell you, Barry.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, now
that
you
really
know.
backfired, didn't you? Now you know that I'm not a jerk, and
Well,
Danny has
I mean,
a
it's
half a
you were
point.
still a jerk because you gave us that illusion. So I'm sticking by my words. I agree with Danny. You're a big jerk.
I'd say, Perry, if you were a truly nice guy, you would give me like plus 50 points just for guessing Sushi Striker just out of spite.
Okay. All right. If you want some handicap points, I guess that's fair.
And then you give me 50 as well just because I didn't guess, and then this will,
Okay.
without a doubt, be the
so
highest
it's
scoring
50.
game.
So what is it? 53, 50, 55
To 53 and a half.
Okay.
Eat that, Jordan.
Okay. On to game 4. So we're still.
So the Splatoon, it was the first Splatoon for the Wii U then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the
Sushi
first
Striker
Splatoon.
is still on the table then, by theory.
No, it's not.
I mean, it could
Not
be.
for this episode.
Coming
It could
up
be.
next.
Well, see, and you know what the thing would be? He would pick Sushi Striker, and then he'd be like, "But what system?" And it would be like, "You son of a gun!"
That's true. See, actually, I'm not going to say anything more. But yes, that is true. If multiple really, that can be the kicker. Is like, well, which one?
Twilight Princess.
Anyway.
On the GameCube.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
him.
that's great. Okay, now here is number four. Number 4.
I think that silence indicates we should probably move on to the next song, but I guess I shouldn't speak for Danny.
I just put in a guess.
Ooh.
Oh, Denny got it.
Woo!
Oh, no.
Eat it,
Got it.
Cassie.
All right, that puts
Put
him
him
to
on the board.
56.5.
I love this new system, by the way. It's amazing. We should start like docking like in the 10th like decimal, like if you can guess the name of the track, you get 0.01. Anyway, okay. Here's the second one. The second segment.
All right.
Do we got a guess coming in?
Yep.
Oh, do we? And we got it right. What is this game, Cassie?
Link's Awakening.
Woo!
Well, see, I
system?
yeah, for the Nintendo Switch. Well, it's funny
Nope,
because
this was DX version.
I was like, okay,
kidding.
yeah, you jerk. I was like,
There's
all right,
3
that definitely
systems.
sounds like a Zelda game. He already used the NES, so then I was trying to feel it out
There you
if it
go.
was going to be like one of the Oracle
It-
games or something, you know?
Exactly, man. That's you know, that's so funny. That's why I picked it, because I was like, it's one of those games where, okay, I know that's Zelda, but now I really gotta deep down
you know,
think,
there's-
which one is it, you know? And it's not on the NES because we already had that game.
All
So
right.
you are a smart man.
What was the code
But
name
not-
for that one?
The
Lonk?
code name was the code name is Dream.
All right, so now this is going to be the final game we're moving into, right?
That's right.
And we've got
Final
a score
game.
of 57 to 56.5. I've got the 0.5
57.
lead here.
Really?
Yep.
That's it?
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right.
Because we went
Sounds good.
3, then so I got 3, 2, nothing, 2, and Danny got 3, 1, negative 0.5, 3. So
Gotcha.
All right.
it's all gonna come
That's
down to that
amazing.
Sushi Striker. Might make the difference here.
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy.
And the
You
final
guessed
game
the
is
game-
Sushi
so-
Striker.
You guessed the only game that I said I wouldn't do.
Well, I'm sorry I wasn't listening.
Hey, I don't second guess his guess at all.
I love how it's like, guys, I would not pick Sushi Striker. And then like, he's like, you know, the only thing he got from that was, maybe he will pick Sushi Striker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he's a jerk.
It's genius. It's perfect. Okay. Here is. I'm excited about this one. Here is number 5.
Well, it sounded like a heartbeat, right?
Yep. And Danny has guessed, and his guess is correct.
Oh no, for real?
Eat it,
Yep.
Cassie.
So that hold on. So that all right, I am going to have to come up with a guess here.
Are you?
Well, yeah, because otherwise I can't win.
You're right.
All right. Oh man. Okay. Can I repeat? Can I hear that again?
I don't think
No,
so.
I know. I'm kidding. Heartbeat. So it's got to be some sort of scary-ish game, right? Of some sort, you would imagine. See, I'm leaning towards a game.
I don't think any of us can help you here, buddy. I'm like Regis Philbin here on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I'm thinking it might be a series that I had mentioned earlier, but I don't know. I mean, here, I guess I got yeah, Sushi Striker for the 3DS. Oh, incorrect for the Switch.
What's he typing? I see my little speech bubble. He's typing something, everyone. Did Danny come back for the win?
I think he did.
Did Danny come back for the win?
Hold on.
Did I strategically put games in here that I thought Danny would know?
If you did, it really worked, man. Appreciate it.
Except for Splatoon.
Well, yeah. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm
No, it was
still
good.
thinking.
You know what, Danny? I admire your guts. You know, you went for it. You know,
Yep.
That's what I love about Danny. He goes for it.
Yep.
He doesn't put up with any crap.
Nope. Until I do, but you know, that's a different
Until
story.
he does. then he goes, okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Man, I cannot think because it's not Resident Evil. I know it's not. But I'm trying to think of what other game would have like a heartbeat like that, with sort of like a creepiness to it.
Man, I want to say something so bad. Just even like the littlest thing.
Hey. Well, I guess yeah.
Feel free.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I know it stinks because you have to get 2.5, right? So you have to get.
So
3,
I have
right?
to get this, otherwise
Yeah.
it's all over but the crying.
I was gonna say it would have been perfect if you could listen to the second game. You know, I was trying to figure out like what new rule can I can I implement here
still here.
to get this, but this would be a comeback from Danny. So think about. I mean, I know this. Think about the systems. You know.
Think about video games.
A complete shot in the dark here. It's probably wrong. So.
And what did you guess, Casey?
I did GoldenEye 007.
He got it.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Isn't that so much like Danny to give him that false hope that he won? Woo! That's amazing. I can't believe it.
Imagine I had that down the whole time and I was just like letting Danny think he won.
So he already sent out the tweet, like I won, everyone.
Yeah, you look at the timestamp, 8:25 p.m. Another winner, baby.
Oh no!
I can't believe it, Casey. That's amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. Yes.
Well, that was like.
So why'd you?
Then I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, there are also like the heartbeat kind of in like Bond intros, right? And I was like, would it be like Nightfire or something? And I was like, I better just. What's it? Keep it simple,
Yeah.
dummy, right? Or stupid.
Yep.
The
Keep
kid.
it
I was like,
simple,
let's
stupid.
just keep it simple. 007. Boom.
Exactly, man.
So-
you got it. GoldenEye.
So the final score, the Bivs with 59.5 to my big fat 60.
Danny, if you wouldn't have guessed Sushi Striker,
I know.
Well, then we'd have to go to a sudden death. Perry would have to come up with a game on the fly.
I would have. Yeah. That's funny. That is funny. The code name for this game is British.
Can we hear the second clip just because I want to hear how
Yes.
much
we
more
can.
noticeable it is? Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny, dude. Wow.
I'll tell you, as soon as I heard that first clip, though, I got it like instantly. Like I even sent out
Yep.
the message before it was even done because, like, boom, I
Yeah.
absolutely know
Yep.
this.
I looked over on phone like, oh wow. Yep. Well done, Daniel. You did good. Well, you really bivsed it up.
I did.
You really did.
I did.
The only reason you lost was because you guessed the only game that I said I wouldn't do. It's just a beautiful thing. It's just
I don't think I'm ever gonna live this down. It's gonna be on my tombstone. The guy that picked Sushi Striker.
He guessed Sushi Striker, and then with that crying laughter emoji.
Yep.
And he totally thought he had it at the end there too.
Totally did.
Aw.
I'm so salty, man. That's
Casey did that on purpose. Casey knew it, and he did this whole thing
well
just,
played, Casey.
just
Well
to get your
played,
hopes
man.
up. Well
Woo.
played, Casey.
Whew.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. You will be So obviously, Danny's here. We flew to Japan for this segment.
Yeah.
But
So
we're
are
gonna fly
there.
back home now. We're gonna come back next month on July 1st to celebrate Independence Day in Japan.
Yes.
And we're gonna record a Patreon only segment, our episode number 2 there. So I'm really looking forward to that, Danny.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So be sure
Get
to
the
check
hot
that out
dogs
coming up in
ready.
the future. Thank you for hosting us at your beautiful home.
Welcome. I hope
in
the
Japan.
bathtub was fine for the both of you.
That's how me and Casey sleep at PAX anyway.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
We wouldn't want it any other way.
any other way. Yes, but now I think we're gonna we're gonna fly back and join Jordan back in North America.
He's been waiting a hot minute now.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you again, Danny, for coming on. Why don't you go ahead and plug away everything?
Yeah.
Plug everything.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for letting me come on the show, guys. It's awesome. I'm a big fan of the show, actually, too. So thanks so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for listening.
We're a
and
big
everything.
fan of the Bivs.
and we're
Aw.
a huge fan of Famicast. So.
Aw. Well, yeah, like Perry said at the beginning of the show, I mean, you can check out our show, the Famicast. We're on YouTube, we're on iTunes, Google Play, all that stuff. Check out our website, famicast.com. We got tons of podcasts, video reviews, all sorts of stuff. Some Japanese
And-
exclusive stuff too. So we want to.
And they have ton of exclusive, cool content on Patreon. Go check their Patreon out.
Yeah,
you can
so
plug your Patreon.
I try not to jump ahead of myself. I mean, should check out the free stuff first. And if you like that, we do have a Patreon where, we do have like 36 exclusive podcasts, and the numbers just keeps on growing. So
It's pretty crazy. And how much does it cost to get those?
well, for
Is it
you,
$3?
for you, I'd say $1,000. But for everyone else, no. So we have a $1 tier, a $3 tier, and then other tiers. But for all the content like that, for the exclusive podcasts and stuff, that starts out at our $3 tier. If you do the $1 tier,
right.
you get early access to like our video content and stuff that we do throughout the week.
There you go.
Sweet.
And you get to listen to their freaking sweet theme song.
Yes, I love it. Actually, I think some jerk.
I
made
gotta
it.
say that's one of my proudest works. I love how that turned out.
Yeah, man.
Not I know I sound like a
You toot your own
piece of crap right now,
own
but
horn over there, Perry?
I might be farting my own horn over here, but
You pervert.
yeah, I really love I love how that theme song is. It's fun.
Yeah, me too, man. I love it.
That's the only thing I hate about the Famicast.
He skips ahead and
Yeah.
everything.
Actually, I have the Bivs send me the edited version. It doesn't even include it.
Yep, just for Casey.
Yeah, like, can I have a Patreon tier that edits out the theme song? That's what Casey suggested. Anywho, again, thank you, Danny, for coming on. We'll see you in just a few weeks.
All right, sounds good.
Ooh-wee.
All right, see you later.
Later.
We'll be right back after this musical break.
Alrighty, boom, baby. That was a doozy, and your boy came out on top because that's what he do.
Did you? I can't
Oh
remember.
yeah, remember it was I can't remember. Remember it was the
just
golden eye,
kidding.
right?
Yeah.
And it
so
came
good.
down to the end, and I was like, I don't know, and then boom, I
So
pull it out
good.
of my back pocket, the rabbit out of my hat, pulled it out of my sleeve. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so good. Thank you everyone for listening. You can find us on Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. Once again, that's Talk Nintendo.
POD. And then you can also find our Patreon. For just $1, you get exclusive episodes, and there's a bunch of different tiers and goodies over there that you'll want to check out, as well as our upcoming game night later this month. And you can find that at
Yeah.
patreon.com/NWR. That's patreon.com/boom.
NWR. So thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week on Talk Nintendo Podcast episode 147.
The climb to 150.
Climb to 150. Then we're done.
For
Until
yeah,
and
for
1 week.
one
then
more
we'll
week
come back.
until episode 151.
That's right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Man, Japan's
Alrighty.
closer than Canada.
What? Oh,
Japan's closer than Canada. When David's on with us, it's like clap, clap, clap.
it's always so.
But Danny's
far
was
off.
just right after it. That
It's
was
like
great.
comical. It's like he waited like 3 seconds before clapping his hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Danny
ready,
was
boys?
like actually. Danny clapped when it was like on 4, just to try to sync it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go ahead, Case.
When he gets that feeling.
Eat it, Cassie.
It's all gonna come down to that sushi striker. Might make the difference here.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more. All for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.